The feud between Glock and Smith & Wesson is as old as the hills, as old as the Hatfields and Hold on. Wait. Hold on, I gotta take this. What's up? Yeah, I know, dude, I'm doing a video right now. I know everyone's got a video on Glock and Smith & Wesson. Like, I know. But look, Smith dropped a new gun last year that's optics ready now, so it can finally compare them. Not everyone has done a video on that. This will be like the only 1,000th video on that. Look, I'm just going to do the video. We'll talk later. So yeah, we're talking about the Smith & Wesson M&P M2.0 compact core versus the very great Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. Are you ready? Stand by. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm David, and today we're talking about two killer compact pistols, the Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS and the Smith & Wesson Military and Police M2.0 Core Compact. So both of these guns are super popular in the American market, and this size of gun, this class of pistol, in my opinion, is about the best Goldilocks size for concealed carry that there is. The double stack compact gun is one of the easiest guns to shoot well. It's not as big and bulky as a full-size service gun, so it conceals pretty good, it shoots pretty good, it does pretty much everything pretty good. And this size of pistol, this class of pistol, is as close to like a do-all gun as you can get, from concealed carry to home defense to even just shooting recreationally. These guns are fantastic for that. So digging into the history of these guns, Smith was actually the first of the two to release the core system back in 2013. When you were dumb if you put gun money on top of a gun. I used to hold that opinion. It's actually true. I said that at one point. We're all young and dumb at some point. Glock didn't get their act together and see the light of the future until 2016 when they released the MOS system. Now both guns are offered as an option, even though they should just be standard. Like, these should be just the guns that they offer. They should all be this way. That's what Walter's doing with the PDP. That said, you can still get the guns in the optics ready configuration, and that's the good news. So both of these guns are popular. You could buy either one of these and it's not going to steer you wrong. They're both great pistols, but because this is the internet and the internet loves drama, and I love drama because I'm a drama queen, we are going to compare them. We are going to pick a winner. We're going to stir the pot. So jump in right now at the beginning of the video and let me know what your comment is on which gun you would pick. Then reply to your comment at the end of the video and let me know if your mind was changed in any way. That's always fun. Or you can just call me names in the comments. That's totally acceptable as well, as long as you hit that like button. So we're going to score these guns based around practical accuracy, stability at speed, concealability, and value right out of the box. Then we'll crown a winner. So are you ready? Let's go. So as far as practical accuracy is concerned, there's a difference between mechanical accuracy and practical accuracy. Mechanical accuracy is what the gun is physically capable of shooting groups at. So if you put either one of these in a ransom rest and let a machine pull the trigger, that's how small a hole you could generate downrange with the rest. Practical accuracy is what you can do offhand unsupported. And that's going to be affected by how the trigger is shaped, how the grips are shaped, the pull weight of the trigger, the overall weight of the gun, and everything like that. So right out of the gate, this is the lighter of the two pistols at about 23 ounces, and this is the heavier of the two at 25 ounces. So not a huge difference there. People who don't like Glocks and don't know how to shoot Glocks are going to say, oh, Glocks are hideously inaccurate, and they'd be wrong. Glocks, especially the Gen 5 Glocks, can shoot the lights out. The new Marksman barrel is insanely accurate, capable of near one-hole accuracy at 25 yards from a rest. That said, the Glock grip angle doesn't do it any favors because it's so non-traditional that a lot of people have issues pointing with the gun like that. The grip is relatively fat. It's kind of like a 1x2 with eased edges. And the trigger, how it's presented from the housing, the angle of the trigger as you kind of pull it straight to the rear, it's not exactly the easiest trigger to pull straight to the rear. The trigger is really well set up to be pulled with the first joint of your finger, the distal joint. However, the trigger reach is such that not many people can actually get that joint onto where it needs to be. So the trigger shape has a bit of a hump coming across it, and the trigger safety doesn't go flush. Once you understand how to pull a Glock trigger straight to the rear, you can use that hump to understand how you're pulling the trigger, and it becomes a strength, not a weakness. But for a vast majority of shooters, they're going to have issues pulling the trigger straight on a Glock. If you're somebody who shoots Glocks to your support side, if you're right-handed, say shoot left, I have done a video that shows you how to stop shooting Glocks left. It is completely technique related, and I can show you how to fix it if you're willing to change your technique. The card just flashed by, so check that out. Meanwhile, the M&P has an amazing grip. The grip texture is fantastic, the ergonomics are perfect, and the shape of the trigger, if you can deal with a hinged trigger, is very easy to pull straight to the rear. There is a good bit of over travel in the trigger, but it's got a nice, crisp, predictable wall. It's very easy to shoot accurately. When I was zeroing this pistol with almost no trigger time on M&Ps in my career as a shooter, I was printing one-hole groups with this at the distance I was zeroing at, which was 12 yards. So I've been wildly impressed with the practical accuracy of this gun. I can expect it's only going to get better as I continue to practice with it. So if you make me pick a winner between these two based upon practical accuracy, it's going to be the M&P. The Gen 5 is no slouch, and I mean this earnestly. I know how to shoot Glocks pretty well, and I can print itty-bitty groups with a Glock, and it's just easier to do with the Smith. Now moving on to stability, which is how accurate can you keep the pistol when you're shooting it fast. This is maybe not the most practical thing to be judging a pistol upon, but that Glock grip angle that we talked about actually changes this picture for the Glock once you get going with it. The Smith has a more vertical style grip angle, more almost like a 1911 style. As a result, it's not as natural to want to lock out your strong hand wrist or your support hand wrist. It just kind of is easy to hold up, which is fine if you're firing like one shot accuracy. But if you're gonna have a string of fire with multiple shots on the same target, which for a defensive pistol is going to be likely given the efficacy of pistol rounds on targets, that's where the Glock really starts to shine. The Glock's grip angle does cause you to roll your strong hand wrist over, basically point your thumb at whatever target you're looking at. And as a result, you're tensing the tendons in your strong hand. And if you use a thumbs forward grip, you're really canting your support hand wrist forward and similarly locking out the tendons in your support hand. And the key to shooting fast and accurately is locking out your wrists. I've done a video on recoil management, which you probably should watch, and I'll show you how to lock out your wrists. But that all said, the Glock is going to be the winner of stability at speed. If I was picking a competition gun based purely around these two pistols, I'd pick the Glock because it's more stable for me at speed. Since the Smith is relatively new to me, I'm sure that with more trigger time and more rounds down range, I can get the gun to behave and the sights to track better for me. But just the Glock grip angle makes it so darn easy to lock your wrists out that it's really, really steady at speed. So moving down to concealability. Concealability, these guns are basically the same size as I hold them up. If we line up the backs of the slides, there it is. So the Glock and the M&P, like the M&P is going to hang down a little bit more because the magazine is going to be flush with the bottom. If I put a magazine in the Glock, they would be almost identically sized. So they're both going to hide really, really well. The advantage the Smith kind of has over the Glock is the back of the slide plate is sloped and the heel of the butt is a little bit more rounded. So what ends up happening is this doesn't want to grab your shirt quite as bad if you're carrying with like an inside the waistband holster. However, if you carry appendix carry, the Smith & Wesson starts to make a lot of sense. And that's because you can keep the holster basically with a neutral drop like this and the grip is close to parallel with your belt. So when you're going to retrieve the gun and you're trying to set your angle of wrist and lock out, you don't have to roll it over quite as bad, so there's like less movement getting onto the gun in the holster. So it's easier, at least for me, to be able to draw from an appendix holster with the M&P style grip angle. If you really wanted to, you could slightly cant your holster presentation like that on the Glock and you would have a better draw the same way that the M&P, but kind of canting the holster like that makes appendix carry kind of weird. So I mean, even when I carry my Glock, I just carry it in a straight up and down. If you need a good holster to carry either of these guns, check out the Harry's Holster Singleton. It's what I use for both of these, and it is a great holster, and I can save you 10% with my code here on the screen. Both of these guns have pretty much a safe action trigger system where you have a trigger safety in the form of a hinge trigger on the M&P. You have a trigger blade safety on the Glock. So they're both very safe action striker style guns. However, the Smith & Wesson does have the option for a manual safety. And not only is it a manual safety, but it's a very well designed manual safety. So it sits right where your thumb is supposed to go when you have a good shooting grip. For somebody who carries appendix carry, I like to have a safety on a gun. I just think it's a good idea. It's an added layer of safety when holstering. If you're holstering in the dark or when there's stress going on around you, it is just a nice thing to have. Glocks do have aftermarket options available similar to that. The Striker control device from the Tau development group, I've done a video on that you can check out. That is there is if you put your thumb on the back plate, then while you're holstering, then the gun cannot go off, which I think is a generally good idea for somebody who's an appendix carrier, although that is a controversial position. Please don't go and tell James Yeager on me. I'll be so disappointed. So if you make me pick a gun based around the feature set, how it goes for the way that I carry, which is the appendix position, it's the Smith & Wesson with its manual safety and the grip angle that it presents. The practical accuracy, as I mentioned, for a concealed carry gun, I think that accuracy is prized on a concealed carry gun, so I think that the M&P is probably a little bit better, although, guys, don't hear me say that saying, oh, you can't do anything with, no, the Glock's fantastic. The Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS is one of the best pistols in the segment as far as I'm concerned. Now, as far as value is concerned out of the box, that's where things begin to get interesting. I bought the Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS before everyone collectively realized that self-defense is a thing that only you can provide yourself, and all decided to run to the gun store at the same time and buy up all the guns. So I paid $620, which is, I believe, is the manufacturer's allowed pricing on the gun, back in early last year for this pistol. That same website I got the gun from now is selling for $800. So this is a very popular gun. You can see it based on the laws of supply and demand. The Smith I got just recently in the late first quarter of 2021. I paid $600, which is not my favorite price. I suspect in better times this would be a $550 to $500 pistol, but even at $600, it's still a pretty good value. The problem is that the magazines for the Smith cost $40, whereas the magazines from the Glock cost $25 to $30. I should probably call 2016 back and see if they can send back some of those $20 magazines. And the Glock comes with 3 magazines, so that is a check in the Glock's corner there. But meanwhile, the Smith comes with proper co-witness sights, which for an optic ready gun specifically made for self-defense makes sense, whereas the Glock comes with just terrible generic plastic slot fillers that are horrible, and all 5 of the people who like the OEM Glock sights are going to tell me why they think they work for them. For a defensive pistol, I think it makes sense to get co-witness iron sights, so if you were to level kind of the playing field between the two of the guns, like throw $70 at the Glock for proper co-witness iron sights, throw another $40 at the Smith for another magazine, throw $35 at the Smith for a plastic pistol case, because the Glock comes with a gun caboodle and the Smith comes in a cardboard box suitable for recycling. So you've got a gun that's selling for adjusted about $675 for the same gun selling for about $875. So the question then becomes is this Glock $200 better than the Smith? No. No, this is not worth $2 more than the Smith. Like, the Smith comes out of the box, in my opinion, with a better feature set. I mean, the grip is better, the sights are better. The trigger, I would say, is probably a little bit better on the Smith than the Glock, although the Gen 5 Glocks, in my opinion, have pretty good triggers as well. I can't buy an $800 Glock, guys. Like, that's crazy to me. I had a hard time paying $600 for the Glock. Like, $600 is where I begin to tap out on the Glock thing. Like, the feel of the gun, the fit and finish and everything just feels like a higher end pistol with the Smith. So the value thing, I've got to give it to the Smith. Like, don't get me wrong, I love this pistol. I think this is a great gun. It's one of the better guns folks are making. But I think the Smith is just a better value when you consider what you're spending to what you're getting. So now is the moment of truth where we pick a winner, because just like the Highlander, there can be only one.
There can be only one.
But first, we need to discuss the relationship between content creator and you, the subscriber who likes all my videos. Like that video. I make world-class firearms content, and you watch this content. As you contemplate your 2021 pool season, you decide to order your custom pool float to feature my logo, so that all of the other people at the pool who you never talk to will know of the good work done here on this channel.
I need to talk to you.
In all seriousness, guys, if you could go ahead and bang on that like button, I would appreciate it. There are links in the description, one of which to my Patreon page where you can get 3 to 5 posts per week for just $1. And that same $1, if you follow the link, you will get a month of Big Daddy Unlimited, which gives you access to the best prices on Second Amendment stuff on the internet. So that would probably be of interest to you. But again, guys, number one thing you can do is to like the video, share it with friends if you got value from this. So jumping back in, giving the internet what it wants, drama. Which of the guns? I think you can probably guess. I didn't want a new concealed carry gun when I bought this gun to review for the channel. I wanted to review a Smith & Wesson M&P, but as I've been shooting it and I set it up with a Harry's holster and all of these things, I've begun to carry it. You can see it's wearing my RMR, which is my favorite carry sight as opposed to just the Holosun, although I did carry it with the Holosun. This is a 407A3, which is I think one of the better ones going because it doesn't have a stupid solar panel and it has a larger dot than the 2 MOA. But the RMR is my favorite sight, and I think that this gun is a killer gun. It's so practically accurate. It's the same size. The magazines cost more, yeah, and I'm going to take a beating on buying a bunch of them because I got about 1 million Glock mags from competing with Glock for so long, but I really think that the Smith kind of built a better mousetrap. I'm very disappointed. It took them 3 full years to drop a core when they were one of the first manufacturers to offer optics-ready guns from the factory. I don't know what they were thinking, why they thought that was a good idea. Like, why didn't you launch the core series when you launched the gun in the first place? If they had done that, I think we would be in a different landscape now with what was considered like a good gun in year 2021. It wouldn't be Smith fighting from behind. It'd be everybody like the Glock's pretty good, the Smith's pretty good, and then everybody else. This gun is fantastic. I think it's a great gun, and I'm going to be carrying it, I guess, as I continue to shoot it and get more comfortable with it. So now's the time for you to reply to your earlier comment. Based on all the information we discussed, did you change your mind? Let me know in the comments below. Meanwhile, I have served the Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS review for you to watch, and here's my recent Smith & Wesson M&P M2.0 core video you can watch as well. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.